Yeah, I looked up like how-to videos on YouTube about how to edit in Adobe Premiere. I learned quite a few things like the keyframes and how they're essentially just anchor points to where you can manipulate the audio or when you want certain effects to come in and leave, and like having the text appear and then disappear. The effects on my end credits, I actually had to find a video specifically how to do that. You're adding text and then adding effects to it, and it was like different layers, which helped me understand more about having, video on top of video. Yeah, I took a song from this band, Tiger's Jaw, that I know, and it was a cover of another song from way back. And I didn't think that it'd get copyrighted because nobody really knows the band. So I took the song, and the intro is just the instrumental part, and I had to pinpoint exactly where to cut the clip and duplicate it a few times so that it would play through without an awkward transition, which came out pretty good. And it was definitely interesting on figuring out how to do that properly. The audio was fun and definitely time intensive. I definitely did when I moved my files from one folder to another and then opened my project up the next day. I had the big red error message and thought that my entire project was ruined. I think there was like an option where you could re-link the files so that it knew where everything was and everything was fine. But then I had another issue where I opened my project and I had like a rendering error and none of the video would play. So I just did some basic research, and this guy on YouTube, it said when you right click on the video track, you hit enable. It says enable at first, and you disable it, and then you enable it again, and then it just magically works. I don't know what that was about, but luckily the how-to videos helped me how to make my how-to video. Pretty rough because I don't have a good camera, and I had the first time I filmed the drawing process came out really bad because the camera's extremely old. But then I used my GoPro, which worked out better because it has a wide angle lens so you could see more of on the table with what I was doing. I didn't have a tripod for it, so I had to ghetto rig something to strap onto a tripod and tighten it down and like angle it, so that I didn't have the screw, so the camera would keep falling over, so I had to tie my headphones around the camera and to the tripod to keep it from just completely ruining the whole shot. But I think the GoPro is definitely a good thing for that type of video, so I think it came out pretty good. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm always pretty hard on myself and want to do better, and like even when I do a decent job, I think I could have done better, but I think it was, I don't know, people liked it, I guess. I want to do a documentary on my dog's life, so it would be like a comedy documentary, because I'm gonna have my dog howling and whining, or not whining, but like, trying to talk, and then I'd put subtitles during the interview of him just barking and howling and stuff. Like I was gonna interview like my mom or my father and ask them like questions about my dog, how he's at home, how's his behavior, and how do you think his life is, and how do you think he feels now, just to see just to show that I understand the whole interview process, but I don't know if it'll work with the whole dog thing. So we lived in Alaska. I moved to Alaska and I lived there for 6 months. I got him, I don't know, maybe 1 month of living there. And so he grew up sort of in Alaska during the winter, which is extremely cold. And from there, when we had to move back, we both were on the plane. He had to be in a crate underneath the plane. We had to go to Seattle. And then our flight actually got canceled from Seattle to Boston from a snowstorm, so we were both stuck in Seattle for like 2 days pretty much. And before we left Alaska, he actually injured his paw and it was all wrapped up. So the whole process I was trying to keep his foot clean and bandaged up, but it was like monsoon pouring in Seattle. So he was pretty soaked, and we had to sit in the airport for hours on end just waiting, which is pretty interesting, walking around an airport with your puppy that everyone seems to want to come over and pet, or they're scared. So I don't know, I feel like he's definitely had an interesting life since the beginning, so it'd be pretty funny.